It's 2 weeks more, and it will be that moment when Nigerian voters exercise their franchise again. The dynamics have produced a frenzy that many say has never been witnessed in the political history of this country. The expectations of the citizens is extremely high, and the general belief is that the country must be steered in the direction of progress. Good evening and welcome to Nigeria 2015. I am Neota Igbe. Political watchers say this year's race is stuck in the middle and could swing either way of the two front runners. What are the stakes? What are the expectations of the Nigerians? That remains the big question. So far, the campaign rallies, paid advertisements in print and electronic media, horse trading, carpet crossing, alliances and deceptions have raised the bar, such that the common man on the streets is aware more than ever before that the outcome of this election will determine the state of the nation to a large extent. While the offensive in the Northeast has continued to record success, thanks to the renewed vigor of the Nigerian military and her neighbors, many have asked questions concerning the conduct of the political parties ahead of the elections. Section 78 through to Section 102 of the Electoral Act have laid out procedures and guidelines for the political parties. That's beside international best practices. How have these parties fared? Well, tonight we will link up with some of our correspondents. Pius, who will be talking to us, Jonathan Gopep will be talking to us from Yobe. Pius Angbo will be speaking to us from Nasarawa State. Joy Odinye will be calling in from Anambra State, and Dobra Timmy Woods will speak to us from Bayelsa. Altogether, they will bring us up to speed on the political situation where they are. Now, for you back at home, our web team has provided several platforms for you to air your views on the program. First, you can tweet at us using the hashtag Nigeria2015, at Channels TV, and at Neota Igbe. And if you have comments or questions of more than 150 characters, do send us an email, Nigeria2015 at channelstv.com. You can also send us pictures or videos of events around you concerning the elections. Use our Eyewitness platform. Now, this is how you can do that. Just download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows devices. Swipe and follow the instructions that are there to share your pictures with us. Joining us tonight to look at how well the political parties have fared in their adherence to the guidelines for the 2015 elections in the Lagos studio is Dominic Adegbola, who's a member of the People's Democratic Party, and Mma Odi, a human rights activist. Thank you for joining us. But from our studios in Abuja is Aisha Keita, a women's leader. I understand Aisha Keita will be joining us via phone. She's the women's leader of the All Progressives Congress Northwest Zone. Now let's look at some of the issues that have helped to raise these questions, some of the questions we had asked, and some others we're hoping we'll get answers to today. First of all, the political parties have had their primaries across the country. Some of the things that have caused issues: high number of litigations, multiple candidates coming up for singular positions, internal party squabbles as per who should have taken up that position, who should have gotten the ticket, who shouldn't have gotten the ticket, defections, and reconciliations. These are some of the things that have trailed the party primaries across the country. Beyond the party primaries, let's look at what has come up after the campaigns or in the middle of the campaigns. Rallies across the nations by all the political parties, high social media presence by all of the politicians and their political parties, saying or attempting to sell their views to the Nigerian populace. Peace accords under threat. Different parties, different states have signed the peace accords, all in a bid to ensure that the elections are without violence. But these peace accords are believed to be under threat. Is that true? Is it possible? Who is putting the peace accords under threat? Is it the actions of the political parties or what? Absence of political debate. Many have asked for debate, but it looks as if the politicians are not interested, and some have even said we have gone beyond the point where we need debate. What we want to see is actions. But then Here comes up another one. poor presentation of manifestos. The political parties are believed not to have been able to properly put forth their manifestos to the electorate. Is this a problem of communication? Well, we hope we'll get answers today. Now, let's look at the analysis of some of these political parties. Hate speeches. Now, some have said, why do we need to have hate speeches? Is that what should be the focus? Partly with traditional rulers. Many of these politicians have moved on to visit traditional rulers, all in a bid to clamor for support, as some will say, but many of them have denied clamoring for support. Alleged financial inducement. Who is inducing who financially? Accusations, counter-accusations, electoral violence. In some parts of the country and in some states, some have been wounded, some are believed to have been killed. Why? At political rallies or outside of political rallies? Who is instigating this? But let's take a look at INEC's scorecard so far. PVC distribution is less than 100%. But many have said that the maximum that is expected is at least 60%. INEC says they have over 80%. Would they get up to 100% before the elections? Now, some are hopeful and some are not exactly bothered about that. A mock exercise of the authentication of the voters. A lot of people have said it went well, but the general view is that it was an average mark. And then the preparedness of INEC for the elections have been put at average. Is it how we want to run in these elections? Why do we have things at this point? Questions again that are coming up. But beyond INEC's scorecard, let's see, what are the political parties saying? Or indeed, what are the members or some of the leaders of the political parties saying? Now, this is a statement credited to the governor of Niger State, Governor Babangida Aliyu. He says, Buhari's one-term plan is unfair to the North. In other words, the fact that he has signed a pact or signed a deal to run for only one term is not good for the North. He's shortchanging the northern part of the country. Then his health would need constant monitoring. These are statements credited to the governor of Niger State, Babangida Aliyu. But though he has said this, let's hear what the All Progressives Congress said. Is it in response to that? Well, look at this. It says the PDP lost a beautiful opportunity to even sell their party. They are already behaving like the opposition party. Credited to Alhaji Lai Mohammed, National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress. So here we are. Is it a problem of the political parties not understanding the guidelines that have been laid down in the Electoral Act or as put forth by INEC? Or is it that the political parties are not used to international best practices? Well, we're hoping that we'll get some answers tonight as I join my guest today. But just before I join them, let's see how it went down when the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress returned and had a meeting in Port Harcourt. Let's see that report now.
This is your country. You better build it. You have 30 or 40 more years to go. And this is extremely serious. I want you to take this seriously. Number one, that is security. Number two, the economy, the unemployment. Look at how the Naira is tumbling down. Those of you that are business people, how much Naira, you need trailers of Naira to go and change and buy machinery, establish a factory, buy essential raw materials, and get competent management. You just can't afford it. That means there is going to be more and more unemployment if you allow PDP to survive, either at state level or at the center. The third very important point is the question of corruption. But already your governor or your chairman South has said it. If we don't kill corruption in this country, corruption will kill Nigeria. What we are going to save from corruption, I assure you, we will plow it back into building infrastructure.
Well, the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress at the rally in Port Harcourt. But while that rally was going on, the PDP Governors Forum had a meeting recently. Let's see how that meeting went down.
It wasn't this party that won.
It's the PDP Governors Forum taking place at the Eco Hotel in Lagos. And present here are governors of the party and other party leaders as well as socio and political activists and members of the press.
Like I said, even the civil society. And
They call this meeting a sustenance of democratic value and national development, and getting the coast clear for others to follow is the chairman of the forum and governor of Akwa Ibom State, Godswill Akpabio. And his main focus is on what he calls the unpreparedness of INEC for the 2015 general election.
In our opinion, INEC appears ill-prepared for the 2015 elections. For example, at the time the polls were shifted due to security concerns, over 23 million registered voters were yet to collect their PVCs. How then can Nigerians reconcile the purported readiness of INEC for the 14th February election then with the testing of card readers more than a month after the postponement?
His points get the backing of other PDP governors who speak on the need for Nigerians to work towards sustaining the transformational drive of the Goodluck Jonathan's administration.
Sustenance of democratic values cannot depend on brazen stealing, on greedy people, and on people who think that they will buy anybody for electoral purposes.
Today in APC, if you're able to kidnap 2 of their leaders, the party will simply perish. In PDP, take anybody here will survive because it is Nigerian owned. The ownership is Nigerian thing.
In his usual manner, the Ekiti State Governor, Ayo Fayose, enjoins Nigerians not to undermine the controversy surrounding the certificate of General Buhari as well as his age.
My mother is 74. General Buhari, official age 73. I want you to reconcile these 2 things without deceiving yourself. This is not personal. When you say I don't have certificate, I come out boldly. They took me to court severally that the person that must be governor of the fountain of knowledge must have certificate. I've presented my certificate in the court. I have displayed it publicly. The press should not allow themselves to be used to cover this issue of certificate. I'm not after General Buhari, it's my father. Anybody who is the age of your mother is your father.
Other speakers also applaud the strides of President Jonathan, calling on Nigerians not to be swayed into voting in the general election based on sentiment. The meeting is done with, but it still resides with the electorate the power to decide where the pendulum swings in the general election.